Everybody's falling in love and I'm falling behind.
Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Amomi, aka Petite Diva, and in this video we are discussing about late bloomers. Now, I came across a video of a lady who was just talking about being a late bloomer and how it can be quite an experience to be waiting for things to happen, and especially when you see others having it easy and you have to wait and wait and wait.
Hey guys, I just wanted to say that in life nothing will humble you like being a late bloomer. Like, things are going to happen for you, but the time you spend in the waiting room takes the toll out of you as a person, and you find yourself being surrounded by people who are lucky, people who try things first try, they get it, people who go to interviews first time they get employed, people who get in love first time they meet their soulmates. And then there is us, people who have to wait 10 years in the waiting room just to get that one thing. You know it's gonna happen, but the waiting.
Now, this video actually resonated with me because I think around my mid-20s I realized that I was a late bloomer, and it came after a lot of tears, a lot of why is this happening to me, why am I not getting what I want, why do I have to wait and wait, why do I have to get a lot of no's, why do I have to start something, do something and get disappointed. And it has been quite a journey. It's not easy getting to a place where you accept that that's how your life is going to be, because 6 out of 10 times anything I want to achieve or I try to achieve, and I say I want it at this particular time and I'm working towards it, most times, like I said, 6 out of 10, I don't think I get it. I might get it later, much later, but at that point where I feel like I should get it, I don't get it. There's so many things, so many examples in my life. Anyway, let's check out what some women had to say about being late bloomers and their experience as a late bloomer in life.
Did you get your first internship at 30 while your peers easily got employed after school? Or maybe you finished your first degree by 32 and you wonder why you're not like your peers who seem to get it all right. Then maybe you're a late bloomer. Now, what's a late bloomer? A late bloomer refers to a person who achieves their full potential, success, or personal growth at a later stage in life, or after a significant delay compared to their peers. It often applies to various aspects of life, including career, education, relationships, or even personal development. Late bloomers may not show early signs of exceptional achievement, but they make significant progress and accomplishments later on. There are benefits of being a late bloomer in your career, and it has its own advantages, like, for example, wisdom and maturity. Because of your delay in life, you often bring a wealth of experience and maturity to the table. This can translate into better decision making and a deeper understanding of yourself and others. You have resilience. Late bloomers have typically faced their fair share of challenges. This builds resilience, the ability to bounce back from setbacks, which is a valuable trait in navigating life's ups and downs. As a late bloomer, you've had enough exploration time. Have you ever heard the phrase, been there, done that, bought the t-shirt? That accurately depicts late bloomers because they've had the chance to explore different paths and passions. This exploration leads to the discovery of hidden talents and a clearer sense of purpose. You also have better skill development. With more time on your side, typically late bloomers invest in skill development. This might come from formal education, on-the-job learning, or pursuing personal interest. These skills can be assets in various aspects of life. Finally, you have better clarity of your goals. Taking a longer route to success often leads to a deeper understanding of personal goals and aspirations. Late bloomers tend to have a clearer sense of what they truly want to achieve. As a late bloomer, understand that although you may have a late start in life, you will eventually catch up and surpass even those who started early. I hope this helps.
For my late bloomers who are not on the same timeline of which life tells us that we should be passing certain milestones, baby, the last shall be first and the first shall be last. This is the word of God. Hear it and receive it, that you are not late, that you are exactly who you're supposed to be, where you're supposed to be, doing what you're supposed to be doing. Don't quit. You are right there. You are so close to your breakthrough. Don't fucking quit.
Okay, y'all, I'm 30 and it feels so crazy saying that, but I kind of want to talk about how I feel. Okay, I did a similar video last year right before I turned 29. Well, it's kind of similar. I was talking about being a late bloomer and being 29 and not experiencing those things, and I kind of want to give you guys an update. But before that, I want to say some of y'all are really funny because that video went a little viral and I got so many DMs. Most of them were encouraging and very nice, but some of y'all are so rude. I got so many DMs of people being like, oh my God, I hope I don't end up like you, girl. And I realized that they weren't trying to be rude, but like, why would you say that? And then I got like a lot of other messages of people being like, girl, I'm in the same boat. I'm this age and I haven't been in a relationship and I'm this age. And it was very encouraging for the most part, but some of y'all are rude. But since that video, which you can find like all the way back down on my page, I don't know, it's somewhere. Since that video, I've been on a first and second date. I've talked to several people, but all of that fizzled out. The first date was not great. I'm gonna be honest. The second date was actually really nice. It was actually the second date was a virtual date because we didn't live in the same state. But I don't know if y'all count that, but I do because it was really nice. He planned the activity, he planned the date, he planned the time. It was fun. But yeah, that's kind of an update there. Feelings wise, I talked about it in the first video a little bit, but like feelings wise now, I just have been at a place where it's like, of course I'm a human and all humans, I feel like, desire companionship, desire to have a partner, all this stuff. But like, I'm also in a place of just like, it is what it is. I can't come and kill myself. Like, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Like, I would hate to find myself in this position that I hoped for, you know, in the future. And then I look back and all I did was worry and was anxious. Like, I need to just enjoy life while I can enjoy life up until that point, you know, because, you know, I've talked to so many people and so many married people and so many people in relationships. They always be like, I wish I would appreciated my singleness, yada, yada, yada. Like, sometimes I'd be like, okay, you're just saying that. Because I feel like sometimes people do be just saying that. But like, also, I know there's some legitimateness to that. And so it is what it is. That's kind of how I feel. Like, it's like, it's going to happen when it's going to happen. And being anxious and worrying is not going to make it happen any faster. Another thing I want to say was like, a lot of comments were just like, basically like, what's wrong with you? Or have you tried this? Y'all, I have been shy since I'm not as shy anymore, but I was shy since I was like a little kid, and most of my adult life I was very shy, and I just feel like that more than likely or probably was one of the reasons I probably didn't create the atmosphere of like wanting to be approached, because I would literally like avoid eye contact with people or like try not to talk to people because I just felt like I just had anxiety talking to people and like was super shy. But I feel like as I've become less shy, become more comfortable with myself, I get approached more, and that's just like, I don't know, that's just one thing I've noticed. Also, another thing is I'm a bigger girl and I'm very realistic. I know that bigger girls are not a lot of people's types. And so I'm very realistic with myself. Like, I know that's also probably one of the reasons. And I was much bigger, you know, maybe 2-3 years ago. I've lost 60 pounds since then. But I'm not ignorant to the fact that I'm a bigger girl and people don't always have that preference, and that's fine. Like, I have never been one to like try to convince somebody to be attracted to me, because like, why would I want to convince somebody to be attracted to me? That doesn't make any sense. But you know, people have preferences. I have my own preferences. I have what I like. So like, yeah, that's probably also another reason.
I had no idea there were so many late bloomers out there. When I looked back at all my comments, I saw everybody was like, girl, me too. I've been through this. I'm going through what you're going through. I have the same exact thoughts in my head. I don't know. I've just been going through this kind of alone in my world. I'm not trying to say like the people who are there for me don't support me, but there are times where they just like don't understand exactly what I'm going through. I also saw that a lot of the women that were commenting were people of color, and I think that also has something to do with it, just a little bit. I think late blooming comes from many different areas of our life, and I have no idea exactly what causes it. I think there's many different reasons. I think for me, my reason would definitely be religion. Religion definitely made me a late bloomer, and also growing up in a city where I am not the dominant race at all. Not the girl that everyone was looking at when I was growing up, and that's okay. I think I definitely blossomed into who I am today because of that. The only experience I really had was when I was like 18, y'all. Like 18, that's when I had my first kiss and my first like anything with any type of like boy. Like that was really it. Looking back at that, I feel like I'm frozen in time. I'm now 24. A lot of you asked like my age, and I'm 24 years old now, and I'm looking back at that and it feels like I'm stuck in time. Like it feels like I'm stuck back when I was 18, and I'm like, oh my god, like someone wants to kiss me or somebody likes me. So I feel like I'm just kind of stagnant in like this whole dating scene. Whenever I think about dating somebody or like kissing someone, I feel like I have not crossed into any like new territory with that, so everything just kind of feels disappointing. Those are the words that I can put to it. Like being a late bloomer feels disappointing at times. Definitely would say like I'm comfortable with being alone, comfortable being by myself. It's taken like time and like years to really appreciate who I am and be comfortable in like my own skin, and like the fact that I may not find a partner as soon as I wanted to. It took me so long to get back on here. It took me a couple days because I've just been going through it in my own mind. Still about that last situation, and like I said, as a late bloomer, like all these experiences, there's very little of them, so I think I hold on to it just a little bit longer than I really should. But in everyone's timing, like I think I'll definitely heal from it, definitely healing from it properly, and just taking like my steps as I go. That being said, I'm definitely not giving up. This is to all the late bloomers out there, all the people that commented on my last video. Your time will come. My time will come too. I know that's like the most annoying thing to hear because we hear it all the time from other people. They're like, your time will come. I really do believe that, and I believe there is going to be that one specific person out there for us. As I still like go out on dates, hopefully, I'll definitely be like documenting that in the most like private way, like, because you know I don't want to put anything too out there in case like something good happens. Yeah, I have no idea what else to talk about until, you know, I actually just kind of go through the motions.
So I watched this other Christian or faith-based vlogger. Why my charger just open my business? But you know, she titles like her vlogs like late bloomer series, or she's like a late bloomer, and she was talking about how the fact of like, you know, when you're a late bloomer, you get so used to literally just feeling like you're always late to the party, like everything's always just, you're just late, you arrive late to everything. And she was just like expressing how when you're in that season when you are blooming and like, you know, you're blooming, like that feeling is just so undescribable, and it really is. And I remember I was like having a conversation with God, like sometimes it's just so irritating just knowing you're always late to the party, like you just arrive to everything later. But then he put it on my heart and he was like, you have to understand something. He's like, the reason why you're a late bloomer is because I don't want, you know, God is like, I made you a late bloomer on purpose, because when I hand you these things, when I hand you these blessings, I don't want you to squander it like other people do at such a young age. I don't want you to mess it up. I don't want you to have 2 to 3 different marriages, Sabrina. I want that one marriage that you walk into to be the only, the final, the last. When I bless you with this income, I don't want you to look back 5 years after and be like, dang, what did I do with all that money? I want you to have purpose. I want you to give. I want you to build kingdom businesses with this. He's like, you're a late bloomer because when I place these things in your hand, when you finally get there, I know you're going to have the mentality and the heart posture that you need to actually sustain it. For all my late bloomers out there, you're not late to the party. You're arriving on time. You're arriving in a season that is actually going to be sustainable, where you're actually going to be able to hold on to all of these things that he gives you.
I grew up in a Christian household, so you already know how that go. And my parents wasn't even super strict on me when I got older. I was strict on myself. I didn't date in high school, middle school. I didn't do anything. I didn't have my first kiss till I was like 19. And the thing they'll tell you is you start feeling like you're not an adult because of social media, and you start letting the world dictate your movement. And that's what I did. And that's how I lost my virginity, because I was like, you know what? I'm gonna live my best life. I'm tired. This part, virginity, my sex, it don't matter. I can do what I want to do. You know what I mean? And I just lost my virginity. And I'm not going to lie to you and be like, oh, I thought it was bad, or I had a bad experience. I didn't have a bad experience. But what I did do was fall away from God, because I was so enamored with, oh, but this is how you be an adult. You get being adult mixed up with worldly living. It's okay to be a late bloomer. God going to bring you the right person at the right time, because at the end of the day, I shouldn't have lost my virginity to who I did. Even though he's a good guy, it's just I shouldn't have. You know what I'm saying? I'm too busy trying to chase the Joneses, chase the world, losing my relationship, and it wasn't even worth it. You know what I mean? But it's okay if you a late bloomer. You know what I'm saying? You're not late. You're not a late bloomer because you haven't done worldly things. You are an adult. You are great. And you are a beautiful black woman or man. Period. Or not. Whatever.
Like a lot of other black women on this app, I was not allowed to date or talk to about dating in my teenage years and in high school. And so I realized just how much that's affected the way I approach dating in my 20s. I think when you're a late bloomer, you can easily have the tendency to approach dating from an anxious place, where it's like, oh, I don't know what it's like to experience the butterflies or the spark. So for me, at least, when I was going on dates, I had the mindset of, oh, could this be the one? Could this be it? And I put so much weight on all of these interactions, which became extremely exhausting, because when it wasn't the one and when it didn't work out the way I thought it would, I just got so beside myself, and I jumped into this place of limerence. And so I feel like if I was allowed to date and learn how to talk to men and what I like and who I am when it comes to what I like, I could approach dating from a lighthearted perspective and have fun. I literally had the realization this morning where I was like, this is supposed to be fun. I'm in my 20s. I am single. I have no children, and I am loaded. Let me relax, because yeah, not that. But my point is, I have no actual obligations, and the world is my oyster. So I reflected really quick on 2023, because I went on so many dates last year, and I was like, I had fun. I met people that I connected with, and it was romantic, and they showed genuine interest in me. And even if we didn't end up together, that doesn't have to be the end goal. I can date just to date, just because it's fun. Why is that so revolutionary to me? I know, because I wasn't allowed to date as a teenager, so I have no idea of the concept of dating for fun. And I think that's why a lot of white women are able to just up and move on, and I love it. Life is too short to sit here and wallow over one date not going the way you want to or being ghosted. Move on. Have fun.
It's because I am a late bloomer. There is a lot of trauma involved with never feeling wanted.
Late bloomer here. I promised myself that I wasn't going to talk about this, but I need to talk about it. I started dating at 28, and I had a first and only relationship at 28. I'm 29 now, about to turn 30 in December. But yeah, I want to talk about the trauma of not feeling wanted. Like she said she had a good childhood, and I had a good childhood too. I had a very supportive and loving family. So I was like, how do I have this trauma? And she said it's because you're alone. You've been alone your entire adult life. Same here. I had never had anything close. I had never had a first kiss. I had never had anything of that matter, even held somebody's hands, right? At 28 and a half, I decided to start dating, but I wasn't on the right mindset. And I want to talk about this because it's important for you to work on that mindset. It's why are you feeling, not wanted, not chosen, right? You need to really know your worth, respect yourself, and not see being a late bloomer as something negative. To me, that means is that you're disciplined and you do respect yourself and you don't give yourself up to just anybody. But going back to 28-year-old me, I had worked on my body, I had exercised, I had worked on my skincare, I had started dressing differently, I felt beautiful. but I hadn't worked on my mindset and I hadn't worked on a lot of things. So I went to dating. I was a very weak woman. And I let this notion of being a late bloomer, like, oh my goodness, nobody wants me, nobody chooses me, nobody approaches me, there's something wrong with me, somebody must like choose me, right? And I went through it like that, and that is the worst thing you could do as a late bloomer. You have to really understand that you're a valuable person. If you're a late bloomer, if you've gone through all these years without needing somebody, you're fine. That just means that you're strong and you have discipline. But of course, I let society get the best of me. And, you know, oh, you're almost 30. You've never had any experience. Like, you must find somebody now. And I really went through dating very desperately, you know. Of course, I went on dates, a lot of rejections, a lot of ghostings, and that really hurt me to my core. But, you know, it's very important to experience rejection as well. And if you're a late bloomer and you start dating and like experiencing rejection, then that's good. It just helps you develop a thicker skin. But you have to be strong enough to not give too much and not let just anybody in your life. And that's why I don't really, I just preach against like dating apps, because dating apps, people on there mostly just want to have fun and they don't care about you. Mostly everybody in this world does not care about you and does not care about like being in a relationship with you. Saying most people, but there are people who are going to love you for who you are. What is meant for you will come to you and will not leave you. But yeah, first relationship. In the video, she talked about like needing reassurance because she feels like she has an anxious attachment style. And yes, that is what happened to me. In this relationship, I just felt very sad all the time because it wasn't getting that reassurance. And now I understand that it was an anxious attachment because, you know, I had never experienced anything close to romance. I had never experienced any sort of like, you know, kissing and all of that and everything that comes with being in a relationship. That was all new to me. So of course I felt, you know, I needed that reassurance. Like, hey, you like me, you want to be with me, you like me for who I am. Like I wanted that in that relationship. And unfortunately that didn't work. And what broke my heart is that like, man, I waited all my life just to be discarded. Like I wasn't nothing, right? But I've forgiven myself. And I know that at that moment in my life, I was a weak woman and I didn't know my worth. And obviously I didn't love myself enough because I put myself in that situation with somebody who did not care about me, did not see my value, did not see my worth. But, you know, you live and you learn. And that situation just helped me see all the things that I needed to work on. I learned that ain't nobody going to validate me but myself. Ain't nobody going to choose myself but myself. If I'm not choosing myself and I'm not validating myself, nobody's going to do that. I got to do that first, you know. Being alone, being single, and like I got a lot of criticism. It's like, because like you look like that and you don't have anybody. It's like, well, I'm a great human being. I have my personality. I think a certain way, and it's hard to find somebody that's like me. You know, for me, it's hard. A lot of people I talk to and stuff like don't understand who I am. And I know that for me, it's going to be hard to find somebody that is like me and thinks like me. And just because you're attractive and you're single does not mean there's something wrong with you. It's just, if you think about it, nowadays, it's super hard to find somebody. A lot of people just want to play. And then there's this whole notion of like options, endless options. And like, you know, I really do think in this dating generation, it's really about quality over quantity over quality. And for me, it's quality over quantity. And I know it's going to be hard for me. But now I understand that because I went through this rejection. And at first it broke my heart. And I was like, man, how am I going to overcome this? Like like that whole notion of not being wanted. Like imagine going all your life, getting in a relationship, and then that person like dumps you super fast. It's like, it really messed with me. But it helped me realize that it's not really about them. It's just how much you allow people, right? You have to understand your worth. You have to love yourself enough to say no. You have to respect your peace. You have to always think about like, hey, I'm peaceful. I have a good life. I'm independent. I pay my bills. I do everything myself. I change my own goddamn tires for my car by myself. Like this person that comes into my life has to really add to my life. And you have to think about that way. Okay, now I'm fine. I know I'm single. I know I'm about to be 30, but like I really don't care. Because you know what is more important than anything in this world? your peace. And I believe that God has gotten me through. I have another story for you about that, but like God has helped me so much, and He's just removed things from my life that are not for me. So we are gonna be okay. Just know your worth, please.
Now, as I said, as I've grown older, I've come to accept some things. I've come to accept the fact that I'm a late bloomer. Things are not going to come to me easily. I might have to work for it 10 times. I might have to wait years and years for something that I'd set as a goal or wanted to achieve to occur. Like, for instance, there was one particular scholarship that I was applying for. I think I knew I was going to get it, but at the time that I needed to get it, that I wanted to get it, I didn't get it. But because I am used to being a late bloomer, I'm used to applying for things and things and things and waiting till it happens. Most of the time, I think I'm also stubborn. I still applied for it again, and you believe I got it the next year, and things happened. Like, the economy just went from A to haywire. So at the end of the day, I couldn't accept the scholarship. I couldn't use the scholarship, and that for me kind of made me very, very sad. In fact, it made me very sad. It's not kind of, it made me very sad. I was so unhappy. I was like, this is not the best time for it to have occurred. It should have occurred a year before, and things would have worked better because the economy was better, and I could have accepted it and finished the course and achieved the second part of the things that I wanted to achieve. But it didn't work like that, and it was so saddening, because I feel like if another person had done that, applied for that, the person would have gotten at the time the person wanted, and everything would have worked for the person. Also, recently, there was a goal that I wanted to achieve on my channel for years, and I finally achieved that last month. And I was checking for something, and I saw my old YouTube content book, because I always write my content and plan it, and also sometimes in the content book I write my dreams and hopes for the channel or goals. And I saw the particular goal and I saw the particular goal after I achieved it last month, and I was like, this goal just manifested 5 years after I wrote it. And it's like, wow, this I don't even know what to say. This is late. I was just like, wow. I just shook my head, like, 5 years. And the thing is, I don't know if that goal can be repeated. I don't know. I because if I'm thinking, oh, it will be repeated, like, honestly, because of the way my life is lately, I've just been like, no expectation. If it happens, it happens. If it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. And that is the way I've decided to live my life, so that I can have peace of mind, so that I'm not stressed up thinking of this goal and when it's going to come. Lately, I've been reminding myself of Isaiah 43 verse 19 and Isaiah 60 verse 22, which is basically just saying that when God wants to do it, He will do it. And He will do it in a way that will shock people. He would cause rivers to flow in desert or wasteland. So that is one of the things that I've been using to just let go of expectation, because I don't want my expectation to be cut short. Honestly, I don't want to wait for things and say, oh, I would love this to happen, or set goals for this to happen, and it doesn't happen. Most of the time, it really doesn't happen. Like, lately, I wanted to set a goal for my channel that I hope by the end of June I'll have over 100,000 subscribers. But I had to remind myself that I really doubt that is going to happen, so there's no need for you to set any goal. for when you reach 100,000 subscribers on your channel, that I should just let go. Whenever I reach it, I reach it. The day I reach it, I will celebrate and I'll move on and hopefully do a giveaway or something. But that's basically how I've been managing my life, or basically how I want to go forward in my life. I don't want to be so stressed up at thinking, oh, this should happen and it didn't happen at this time. I just want to leave it that when it will happen, it will happen. When God wants it to happen, it will happen. If it's going to take 5 years, which I don't like, it will happen. But I just trust that the time it happens is the best time it's supposed to happen for me. But it can be very saddening and discouraging, especially when you're working on something for years and you now help somebody to do that same thing you've been working on for years, and that person does it once and achieves it, and you that have been working on it for years, you don't achieve it. Even after the person has achieved what you both were working on, you are still doing it and you've not achieved it because it's not yet time for you, because as a late bloomer, you don't get everything at the time that you always want to get to. So it's just, it might seem somehow, it might seem not important to some people, but if you are in our shoes, you understand, it's not a nice feeling. It's not. I know that there are so many times that I've cried, there's so many times I've been sad, there's so many times that I've been like, I give up, I'm not doing this again. And then something will happen and I say, oh, start it or do it, and then stubbornly I will do it, and maybe at that time that's when things will click. So anyway, basically for me, I would say that to be able to cope as a late bloomer, you just need to let go of your expectation and just do things, and then if it works, it works, which is not a good thing per se, because people are planning, they're having goals and everything, but you just go. Anything that happens, it happens, because setting goals and doing that and looking at other people's timeline can discourage you a lot and can make you very, very sad, and we don't want anything to affect our mental health. So basically, just let go and let God. That's all I can say. Anyway, I don't know what you guys think about this topic. Are you a late bloomer? Are you something that things work for immediately? Anything you want, you get it. It's not that complicated for you. I would love to know what you feel about things that happen to you in your life. Now, if you are a late bloomer, when did you realize that you are a late bloomer, and what have you been doing to help you cope with your expectation not being met at the time that you want it to be met? And I would love to just hear how you are coping, so that maybe I can adopt some of your techniques and just go through life without being disappointed so many times, because the tears are not nice to be having all the time. So please leave your comments in the comment section so that we can get this discussion popping. Now, if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you are not yet subscribed and you like videos such as this, please consider subscribing by clicking on the red button that says subscribe, and don't forget to click on the bell notification icon by the side so that you're notified anytime I upload video. Now, with all that said, thank you so much for watching. I hope to see you in the next one. Bye.